bringing a presence that really is not inviting at all.
I don't think people really read like traditional books as much as they used to.
I think libraries are a waste of space because I have my own space to do my work. I just think they're boring.
You go to a library, you're indeed.
I feel like more people need to appreciate libraries, just getting free knowledge and books and all that fun stuff.
Good thing is that you have to physically go there and drive yourself and take the time out of your day.
It's impossible to see a world where we keep libraries open simply to pretend they still serve a purpose for which they no longer serve.
Our mission is to shift the perception of libraries and the people who utilize them. We made this documentary to inspire the first ripple in the ocean of change. But first, we need to meet the people that already act as the catalyst of this movement, the librarians.
My name is Jillian Anderson. I am head librarian at Monacan High School, and I have been here since 2013.
And I'm Lindsay Huckstep. I am the assistant librarian, and I've been here this is my 4th year. I also like that it's not for one specific person. Like, it seems to appeal to a large variety of people for a variety of reasons.
My name's Kristen Alexander. I am the Fine Arts Reference and Acquisitions Librarian. The library acts as sort of the backbone of the museum. It functions as like the resource and information hub. We keep all the books and the resources and the history of the museum within the archives. Libraries now are kind of more thought to be like places where ideas happen and are exchanged, and you can talk and have a drink in the library, like have your coffee, and there's more of like a coffee shop vibe to a library idea now, and I think that's more where we're evolving.
My name is Tara-Lee Albostri, and I am a librarian here at Chesterfield County Public Library, North Courthouse Branch. I like that this library, the fact that it is really open and it's bright and it's inviting and it's a sort of open concept where you have the children's room, but then that kind of just flows into the adult section and the teen area in the back. I just think it's a really cool space. I have been a librarian since 2009, so about 10 years, but I've worked in libraries since I was 17, so much longer than that.
I came to Monacan. It was my first public school experience, and what was nice about coming in as head librarian is that I was pretty much allowed to do whatever I want to make this library successful. And they gave me a lot of freedom because there was no good program in place. So they were just happy if 3 people came in the library in the day. And so with that, I was really able to, I literally removed books, move shelves, change tables, and then we had a renovation, and I got to help design and pick furniture and think of color schemes and make signage. So this library now is literally 100% something we imagined, we envisioned, and we created. So it's a pretty special place.
The library spaces themselves have become a little bit more modern. This particular building, it was built with the idea to have LEED certification so that it's less impactful on the environment. There are like skylights in here to let the sunlight in, so we don't have to use our electricity as much. Our spaces have become a lot more open, and of course you'll see that we have incorporated a lot of technology into the library, whereas a lot of people may have thought of it as pretty much books in the past.
Well, from I think an immediate, like if you were to walk in and see immediately that things have changed, we have some updated projectors that are supposed to be integrated with the whiteboard, so we can treat those kind of like smart boards. How else have
We went to, I don't know, the projector's probably the most modern thing. The furniture's hip and mobile. We can rearrange the space in an instant.
Yeah, everything's on wheels. That's really nice.
And I was gonna say, we actually went to less computers because really everyone pretty much has their own devices, so we did not want to waste any space. We have a recording studio.
Yeah.
That's
there
pretty
you go.
modern. We have we went ahead and moved in together because we're barely in our office and there's absolutely no reason to waste that space. So we went ahead and got a PTSA grant and built a recording studio there, where Josh has been. Hi, Josh.
The librarians work really hard to work on like, the website, to make collection searches available and image searches available, and we have a lot of resources available online, which makes it modern.
And if we didn't modernize, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have as many libraries. You may or may not have heard the statistic that there's more libraries than there are McDonald's in the United States, which is hard to believe. Apparently that is a fact. But we definitely still are relevant in our ability to see forward and to modernize based on that has been key to that.
And a cardigan.
And a lot of shushing. Like I said, the quiet is probably one of the biggest things we had to sort of overcome because people, I'm not saying I need people screaming, but it doesn't need to be silent at all times. There's silent spots.
And I think too, old school would be it's just about books. That the only reason to go to the library is for books.
Again, now we're more focused on helping the people in the community. So we do things like help people with technology if they come in and they need to set up a laptop or they don't know how to use ebooks or that kind of thing. We'll help them with that. We'll spend time with them working on job applications. Obviously, we will do reference help with them. That's still obviously a base of what we do. But a lot of what we do depends on the people in our community and what they want and they're asking for. So we will create programs and different ways to engage with people depending on what the community wants. So it may be that one library has a lot of people that are looking for jobs, in which case that library will have a lot of programs focused on that. Another library might be more family oriented, in which case there will be more programs focused on that. So it's definitely a lot more based on the people in our community.
So we had students come in for China Fest from University of Richmond, and they told short stories and just shared information, and I had books out on Chinese art and children's books, and it was kind of just a space to get away from all of the chaos of Family Day. But we're also actively working to do more programming. So I would like to do some programming on like zines and some more. That's an active. We're in the process of working on more programming at the moment.
More technology, a lot of digital citizenship, and
there's a whole movement of people moving towards like STEAM and maker spaces, and where you can go to a community space like this and just take bits and pieces of things and put them together and make something new. It's a lot of collaboration and creativity and all of that. And so I think the new space, new library, new school, whatever, is supposed to encompass those ideas.
I like as a librarian how we are kind of integrated in helping we know about what's going on, we work closely with the curators, and we kind of are behind the scenes but help make everything happen in some ways, and that's kind of fun.
We have our quarterly, call it a magazine, if you will. It's called Loud and Clear, and every season, every 3 months, it comes out with the programs. So we have programs for children, which you have your story times, which again, very traditional. That has never really gone away. We'll do like they've done puppet shows. They have had like movement type things for kids. We have all kinds of adult programs. Like we have a music series that comes in once a month, the acoustic concert, and that is like a free concert. It's usually sort of themed, like it could be blues or country or whatever it is, and that usually brings like 100 and some people in on those nights. So that's a really cool thing.
I don't know Monacan without you as well.
So then I will jump in and say, you know, even in the 4 years that I've been a librarian, like lunch used to be maybe 35, 40 kids a lunch, and now it's probably 135 kids a lunch. So that, if nothing else, that tells me that people are at least comfortable to come into the space and interact with whatever it is that we have here.
You may have noticed that a lot of the libraries don't have reference desks anymore where the librarians sit behind. We've sort of tried to get rid of those barriers between us and them. So this idea that we're this fountain of knowledge and information versus we're just one of you with a skill set to help you get where you want to be. We've sort of shifted more there. So you'll see us kind of out walking on the floor more and people coming out from behind the desk to help, and we'll walk around and make sure that everybody has the help they need. So in that respect, it has changed quite a bit.
The modern spirit of libraries is, and I think this has always kind of been the case, is to generally be a resource to help people. I think libraries are becoming more empowering and more radical, and libraries are more involved and active in like helping people find like the truth and sort out facts from things that may not be facts. Especially in this day and age, that's like one of the more difficult things with like the internet.
I know people sort of get that stereotypical librarians have little cat glasses and, you know, and they wear the hair up in a bun, and yeah, some of them do, but that's kind of cool now, I think. That's become a cool thing. But you also see librarians that have green hair, blue hair, all different, you know, types of people, and I think that when they bring their energy into the library, that makes people feel welcome, makes them feel like they're one of them, not like this person looking down on you, sort of shushing you, because we just don't do that anymore. This isn't a super quiet space anymore. We do have quiet spaces for people. You can go in study rooms and different areas of the library, but the library is more of a community space, and I think that how we engage with patrons, not telling them to be quiet all of the time, sort of encouraging kids to play, and you know, welcoming everybody in the library, I think that makes a big difference in making people feel welcome here.
After school, we used to only have like a couple of people after school, and now it's pretty hopping in here before school and after school.
Mm-hmm. Safe space gets thrown around like it's a bad word, but I do think there's something to be said about a place where every single student is welcome to walk in. Because you can't even do that in counseling. They're going to be like, why are you here? Do you have a pass? Blah, blah, blah. And that, I think, can impact the school, because it's not the quiet kids, it's not the loud kids, it's not the good kids, it's not the bad kids. It's literally every kid makes their way inside our doors within a week.
And I think too, it's not just students, but teachers, if they have questions, a lot of times they come here as well, because you know, we tend to, if we don't know it, then we know how to find the answer.
They're one of the only resources that we have in our society right now that and places where you can go for free and just exist there.
Libraries in general, like it really is kind of a civic duty in that, you know, you should always know the one place you can go to get information.
We're just a welcoming space for all, and I think that, you know, if you haven't been to a library in a while, yeah, you have to come in and see how they are today.
When I was young, one of my favorite things to do was go to the library. And our library was very small in the town where I lived. Actually, it was just a house that had been converted into a library. But it was so wonderful just to go and be able to look through all the books that were available, and I could remember them, even if I don't remember the titles. I could remember what they looked like. And libraries are just, I think, oftentimes an underused resource, because you can certainly find anything in there that you could possibly want. And it also provides a comfortable, mostly safe location for people, for kids, for example, who want to spend their time productively. So I love libraries.
So, we hope we have successfully translated the spirit of libraries and the underlying feelings they bring. Libraries should never make you feel judged, watched, or unwelcome.
They're a safe place, but most importantly, a resource that you can use to better yourself. So, we ask you, those who are watching this documentary, to go out and find a library. Pick up a book, rent that movie you've been meaning to watch,
Or sign up for that class you've always wanted to try.
This world is full of knowledge. Use it to your advantage.